Today is Wednesday, I think. I am coming on today to chat a little bit about my fundraising raffle that I have launched. And I wanted to explain what it was and why I am doing it. So this is to continuing to be sorry, my kids are playing a game right now. Truly authentic with you guys about, you know, what's going on in my life and how am I dealing with these things. Hello, Zababy. So good to see you. So before I get into this, because this is, I'm going to be really raw and honest and open with you guys about something. So I just wanted to use my Om tuning fork to not only center myself, but in case anybody else is needing some centering as well. Hello, Joe. So good to see you on here. I just received your message right before I got on, so I will check that out. Thank you, thank you. So the Om tuning fork is exactly what it's called. It brings you to that state as when you Om. So that centerness, that quietness. So if you just want to take a few deep breaths in, I encourage you as you breathe in to just think of something that brings you joy. So something that brings a smile to your face, something that you're grateful for, that really helps you to breathe in that light that surrounds us, right? So then as you breathe that in, just hold that for as long as you feel comfortable, and then let out with a sigh anything that is no longer of service to you. So we'll just do a couple of these before I get started. And if you jump on late, feel free, if you so resonate with, to go back and watch the beginning of this. So remember to think of something that brings you joy as you breathe in. Hold that for as long as you feel comfortable and let out anything that is no longer of service. Let's do this one more time. So this is the Om tuning fork. I'll just calibrate this. These ones are really cool because they actually vibrate. So then wherever you put them on the body, it just helps to bring that vibration in. So as I do this on my body, I send this all out to you all if you so wish to receive. Okay, thank you. So what is this fundraiser raffle that I have going on? How does it work and why am I doing this? So sorry, I just gotta get comfortable here. As most of you know, I mean, I haven't talked a whole lot about these, you know, last 3 years and all the things that happened to, you know, a group of us here where I live who were standing up for rights and freedoms of not only ours and our kids, but for everybody's, right? Whether people believed in it or not, we still were fighting for them, right? We were still standing up for them. And so my first ticket for not wearing one of these while entering a mall for about 10-15 minutes to use the washroom. There was a big group of us. Well, it's funny because we were all at like a big rally, and a few of us needed to go to the bathroom. It landed out turning into like a big group. But to kind of just let people know a little bit like more how crazy all of this went on was, yes, so I was one of the people who got ticketed for not wearing one of these, $2,800. So that was 2 years ago now in April, and just dealing with that in court this week. Was the trial for that. And so I just to get into a few details for people, because so many people don't understand what actually was happening to those of us who were standing up. So they took footage, the police took footage from the mall, and they posted people's pictures on Crime Stoppers, which for most people, you wouldn't even know what Crime Stoppers is, or the fact that it's still being utilized, because you never hear about it. I mean, Crime Stoppers is not something that they even use for pedophiles. So let's just like let that sink in for a moment here. And so it was on, at the time, it was on like the 6 o'clock news, on like every mainstream media, you know, the corrupt media. It was on them. It was like in the paper, of asking people that if you recognized any of these, I think it was 12 people that they took their photos, to call in and report them for being in a mall without one of these, so that they could get a $2,800 ticket. So just to kind of give you guys a little bit of background about how truly crazy this whole 3 years has been. And that really is only a teensy little bit of what happened. So anyways, I was found guilty yesterday, and I now have a $2,100 ticket. So it was lowered from $2,800 to $2,100, and I have a year to pay it now. So, you know, for me, I've always felt that they were just going to be taken care of. Like, I mean, for one, I know that this is all unlawful. I know that the mandates were never put in place in the way that they're supposed to be done, again, lawfully. They never went through Parliament. There's so much that I could get into, which I'm not going to get into in this video. And I just always felt that they would be taken care of. They'd be gone. I wouldn't have to worry about them. People would ask me why I knew that. I could never explain why. I didn't know. I just knew. I just had that feeling that it would all be okay. Thank you. Oh, my son just brought me a little feather from the angels. Thank you, honey. We're not going to go on there though. And so, yeah, I will admit a little bit of a blow yesterday. But also, as one of my dearest and best friends reminded me, that this is part of my journey. You know, my part in all this is just not over yet. There's still parts that I need to learn from, or that I need to grow from, or that I need to continue standing in my sovereignty, in my power, because no matter what happens, I don't ever regret standing up for my rights, for my children's rights, and for those who felt like they couldn't. Through all of this, I have been so honored and blessed to be able to hear and to just be a listening ear, if only that, for so many people who were going through horrific times. Because we all have a story. All of us have a story about what happened these last 3 years. And that story needs to be told. It really does. Because there still is so many people that just have no clue, no idea what it was like. So I was a chapter lead for Saskatchewan for Action for Canada. Now, although I don't agree with everything that they, you know, teach, or that they, you know, maybe stand for, in regards to like spirituality and stuff like that. They were a big part to help me to awaken to political stuff. I was never somebody that followed anything political, all of that. I never did. So they really helped me to get into all this, to really start looking at the law, to start looking at the Charter of Rights and Freedoms, which again, that's a whole nother that's a whole nother video. But it got me looking into that. It got me looking into the Human Rights Code, the Canadian Bill of Rights, the Saskatchewan Bill of Rights that we have in Saskatchewan. It got me into looking into law that, oh yeah, these mandates didn't go through Parliament, like so many things. It got me researching and educating myself so that I understood, right? I understood what was going on. And so with that, with being a chapter lead for Action for Canada within Saskatchewan, I had no clue what I was really taking on there. I just knew that I wanted to help people. I knew that so much was going on. So many people were losing their jobs. People were being coerced and forced to do things that they didn't want to do. And whether it was these or these, there were people that had medical conditions or reasons why they couldn't wear these, which nobody listened to, right? This is where we need to tell stories, because it's so important for people to understand. There are people with whether it be physical, or maybe it's a psychological issue of why you couldn't wear one of those. Maybe you had a traumatic thing happen to you. There are people that have been, I can't really say the word on here, so RAPED. And when that happened to them, they were muzzled in some way. So then to now put something on your face is very traumatic, right? There are so many reasons why. I have a good friend who was who actually, well, he was in court this week as well, who has a lot of issues with his lungs since he was born. He was born premature and his lungs aren't developed. He does speak with what is it? Not a lisp, a stutter because of it as well too. And again, it did not, like, people did not care why you didn't have a mask on. It was just that you didn't have one on, right? It was just end of story. You're guilty, da da da, out of the store, out of whatever. I mean, the most horrific things said to you. And this is where people really need to understand the amount of trauma that happened over these 3 years. And I really want to encourage people to start sharing and telling your story. Because like I said, when I was with Action for Canada, I heard through email, through meetings that I held, either with myself or with another group that I was a part of, hundreds and hundreds of horrific stories about things that happened to children, things that happened to adults, people losing their jobs, people like losing family member, being kicked out of society, all of it, right? The worst was hearing what happened to children. It was horrific to hear the stories for kids that were forced to wear these, and like all day long, right? While they were here, I don't know what it was like everywhere else, but here it would be like summertime, blasted heat, and these kids are outside wearing these, doing physical activity. It just, like, I could go on and on and on, because this is an area that I still have a lot of healing to do on, because I'm very traumatized from what happened. And so I just want to encourage people, tell your story, because your story matters. And I encourage others to just have compassion, to just listen, just be that person to listen, and let them know that that you're there for them, right? And the reason why I homeschool my kids now is because the school brought these in, right? The school that they went to was this is where it gets even more crazy. So they were a Waldorf-inspired outdoor school who did things very different than the public school system does. So they were already like different. They do things differently, not the same. It's very similar to almost like a homeschooling environment, but within like classrooms. And yet they were the first school to bring these in before all the other schools mandated them, you know, and then we're crazy with the hand sanitizer, all of it, right? So that's why my kids are at home. Best choice I've ever made, best thing I ever did was to pull my kids out of the school system, the indoctrinated system. I mean, I never wanted my kids in the system, but now more than ever, I see it. I see all the things that are happening. I see what they did to the children these last 3 years. So just think like for all of us adults of the trauma that we went through, just think of the kids who had no choice, no voice in any of this, were forced to wear these every single day for the whole time they were in school. And then if they had like any of like other physical activities or other things going on outside of school, you know, they were forced to do that as well, right? And it's just to me, I mean, we all know, anybody that did research before knew that but now research is finally out there for other people to see, yeah, these never worked. You know, it was all part of the, you know, virtual signaling that you could right away find out who was obeying and who was not obeying, who was complying, who was not complying, right? It was never about safety. We know that because, as you know, what happens when you breathe out that bad air? You don't want to have something blocking that. You're going to just breathe it right back in, right? Like, we know that. We know, again, there's so many things I could talk about, but another time, not in this video. So, yes, I take responsibility for what I did. I stood up. Yes, I did. And I do not regret that. So with that comes consequences. So now I have this fine that I have to pay. Okay. So I'm trying to find ways to raise money because obviously as a solo parent of 3 who works part-time, coming up with $2,100 is not an easy thing to do. Plus, I have another ticket next month that will be in court for protesting, which I shouldn't really talk too much about that because it's not in court yet. So I don't need to get myself in trouble because we all know that they follow all of us on social media. That was definitely pointed out to us. So yeah. Anyways, what is this fundraiser that I'm doing? I decided to put together, you can purchase a ticket for $12.12, and that will get you entered into the draw. And then at the end of this month, I'll put all the names from the draw into like a randomizer, and it will pick somebody. So then whoever they pick will get a 45-minute distance Reiki session, attunement from myself. So what does that include? So when I do my sessions, I always include an angel oracle message. So I'll connect to your energy and see what angel guides would like to come through, what message they have. So I'll send you what comes through for that. And then I run through all your chakra systems. I work with my, like all my different tuning forks. I work with crystals. I work with source energy, the divine light that within all of us, to just help move stagnant energy throughout your body. Maybe you've got like attachments or anything, to just clear out and help cleanse and balance your chakra systems. And then I connect. I work very closely with my angel energy healing team, as well as your angel guides, my angel guides, ancestors, spirit guides, star family, ascended holy masters, the divine holy mother. So if any messages would like to come through, I write them all down, and then so you'll get everything that I got through your session with me. A lot of times light language and stuff will come through to help with some clearing or healing that needs to be done. So though that would be how the sessions work. I am so blown away, and without crying, because you guys just blow me away with your support already, right? When I came up with this idea, I don't know, would people be into this, but I have to be creative, right? Like, I'm trying to find ways to figure this out, because this is the hill that I will die on. I said that a long time ago, like standing up for my children's rights and for everyone's rights, right? Like, if with all the stuff that happened, like, yes, I do not regret that, and I would do it over again. So um this is dealing with that. This is the repercussions of that. And I'm just blown away by how many people are already willing to help me and support me, whether it be financially with donation, buying a raffle ticket, or even just and love and support. It really does just blow me away. I mean, I know how amazing this community is. I've known that for a while, but you guys just you bless me so much, and I'm so honored to be a part of this. And the reason why I didn't want to just do like a fundraiser, I wanted to give back, because I truly believe that so many of us, we do have trauma throughout these last 3 years, right? And I mean, other traumas and things that we need um, help with healing as well too. And so if I can be of service, if I can help, with any of this with people, to help align your chakras, to help clear things, to help bring in, the source energy to help guide you, and that I want to be of service. Throughout this whole awakening, it really is on so many different levels. Everybody's on their own journey, on their own path. You awaken at the right time, the divine time, in the way that you're supposed to. I look back, about 15 years ago is when I started awakening, to the whole medical system and the toxins and all the products and how we're being poisoned and all that. And, I left the Western medical system and dove into like naturopath and homeopathy and traditional Chinese medicine and all of that. And yet it just continues. Like I said, if it wasn't for these last 3 years, I wouldn't have awakened to the political system and, the banking system, and truly awoken to the school systems, right? And I really feel that no matter where you wake up and start on your journey, eventually, no matter how long it takes you, you are going to eventually come into the part of spirituality. And why do I think that? Because all of this stems from how truly powerful we are. And why are they trying to stifle that? Why is it that they are controlling us? Why are they poisoning us through the air, through our water system, through our food, like all of these things, through the frequencies that they put out, whether it be 5G or the 440 hertz that they've turned music to, and movies and all this thing. There's a reason why they do all this, because they know how truly powerful we are. And once you come to that realization of how powerful you are, you start realizing that you are in control and you get to make the decisions in your life, and that everything that is happening to you is happening for you, by you. Because we've all come here choosing to be here at this time, knowing what was going to go on. Now, who knows what we were thinking? I don't know. I asked myself so many times, what was I thinking? But we knew we were strong enough to come here at this time, to be a part of this amazing time. It really is an amazing time. There have never been so many awakened people on the planet really doing the work. And knowing how truly powerful we are, how truly powerful our mind is, and how so many things around us are just distractions, right? It's all these distractions to take us away from the inner work, from coming to that balance. It's not about pushing out your ego self and pushing out all the darkness. It's coming to balance with it, because all of that is a way to teach you all of those things, whether you're being triggered, whether you're angry by something. Look at my situation. There's something within here that I agreed to. I came here agreeing to stand up and to take this on and to not give up. And I don't regret it. Yes, it sucks that our justice system is still as corrupt as it is, and that they literally are saying that here in Canada, that we all of our fundamental rights don't matter, and that they can do things, even though there's ways that things need to be done, that they don't have to follow those, that they can just do it however they want. So these again are things that people need to talk about, because the general public doesn't know this, right? Whether you believe in protesting or masking or not masking or all of that, whether you are like we're those people who were totally against those of us that were standing up, you still need to realize what is happening. Because what is happening is the court is saying that the Canadian Bill of Rights, the Human Rights Code here in Saskatchewan, our Saskatchewan Bill of Rights, and the Canadian Charter mean nothing, that it means nothing, and that they can just trample on that whenever they want, and they can put things through without going through the legal steps that they need to go through, and that you just have to abide by them, or else you get this $2,800 ticket, right? So this is where people need to understand this, because what is next? What is the next thing that they try to put down the line? And then people choose to like, hey, I'm not going to go with that. Well, then what's going to happen to you, right? Like, this is where people need to understand. This is where it really is, where we go one, we go all, because this does affect us all. Whether people are still, and I don't like to say asleep, or like, I don't like to use derogatory terms, because, over the last 3 years, I've had a lot of derogatory terms spoken to me. I've always been an anti one of these, and proud of it. I'm proud that my children have never had one of these, because I did the research in that. But yeah, the amount of like horrific things that people said was horrible. So I don't want to call other people derogatory terms. So I saw somebody once on a video, she was just like, well, muggles. And I'm like, yeah, that works. Muggles. Okay. But, whether you're awake yet or not, and I feel like so many people are, when I look at how people are being awoken now, a lot of it is because they are having serious issues now from taking these. They're injured from them, or they've passed on, or they've had people pass on in their life. I don't think any of us can say that we now don't know somebody who isn't seriously injured or has passed on from this. Like, that's where we are at now, right? And so if you think about waking up in that aspect, and then realizing all these things, this is where the compassion comes in, right? So this is where we really need to have compassion for those people. So yeah, that is kind of my 2 cents on all this. Like I said, I don't regret standing up. I would do it again. I really, really encourage people, like I said earlier, for those that are just jumping on, tell your story, because your story is important. And part of the healing from all this is getting it out, right? So we need to get this out, and we need to help others to understand what happened, what still is happening, right? Um, people, I feel like so many people now are like, oh, this is just over and nothing's going on anymore. Honey, I don't want you on the camera, okay? So he's trying to get on the camera here. And that's where people, because they are so disconnected, and whether they're still just watching the mainstream media or just listening to what they're being told, they don't have that that realization to things that have happened and things that are continuing to happen. So tell your story. Your story is important, and it really is going to help with your healing journey. So someday I would love to go into more detail, even with some of those that, I spent the last couple years standing next to, that I was honored to stand next to them and to meet people of all different, beliefs, all different ethnicity, seeing everything that happened with the truckers was so, so amazing. Every time I go back to that moment and that time, being a part of that, I just, the love that you feel from everybody that was a part of that is just so amazing. So someday I think I will, when I'm done with all my tickets, and I may come on here and tell some of the crazy stories of things that happened to us during this time. But until then, I just wanted to share with you guys what I was doing. So again, for those that just jumped on, the fundraiser raffle is to help me with my my $2,100 ticket that I have for not wearing one of these that I was found guilty of yesterday. So just looking for creative ways to help raise money to pay this off. I take full responsibility for standing up for myself and for my kids and for everybody, right? So what I have going on is, for the month of February, you purchase a raffle ticket by donation of $12.12, and that will get you an entry. At the end of the month, I will put everybody's name into a random draw, one of those randoms, and they will pick somebody, and you will get a 45-minute distance intuitive healing session from myself. And again, I truly cannot express the amount of love and gratitude that I have for all of you, for those sending me love and support, donating, able to turn to and talk to throughout all of this, right? I'm so, so grateful and all of you. And again, I don't regret it. We'll see what happens next month with my gathering ticket, is what it's called, how that goes. And yeah, I'm also not the only one there. I only had 2. There are friends of mine that had 3, 5, 7. There was one girl that had up to 10 tickets. So this is a big thing. They hit people hard in Saskatchewan here. Chris Guy even got his ticket in Saskatchewan here. So I'm not the only one going through this all. There's a lot of people that do need support, there's a lot of stories that need to be shared. So again, I encourage you to tell your story, to speak to others, because maybe people don't want to talk right now about these and everything that's going on with them, but we can talk about other things. We can talk about these things that we went through and that others went through, because it's important for people to hear this. So I thank you for listening. I thank you so much for your support. If you do feel, if you resonate with and want to contribute and be a part of this raffle, I will put the links below. Again, so much love, blessings, and light to you all. Remember to be from a place of joy and love and compassion, especially as those people are just waking up and waking up at a really hard time to wake up, after they've done a lot of the things and followed a lot of the things they were told to do. So I love you all so much. I am just so grateful for you. I hope you have an amazing day. Thank you so much for listening, and we will see you soon.